By June, we will have a new set of projections that will confirm whether the inflation path we foresaw in our March forecast remains valid. These projections will also implicitly give us more insight into the path of underlying inflation. We will have more visibility on the strength of the recovery and the likely direction of the labour market, and therefore on the consequences on wages, on profit, and on productivity. In addition, we will have had a longer window to assess whether inflation data continue to fall broadly in line with our projections. If they do, we can be more confident that our models are now more accurately capturing inflation dynamics. And this confirmation will be particularly important for the more persistent components, such as services, so that we can trust that these components will continue to decline in keeping with their typical lagging pattern. If these data reveal a sufficient degree of alignment between the path of underlying inflation and our projection, and assuming, of course, that transmission remains strong, we will be able to move into the dialing back phase of our policy cycle and begin making policy less restrictive. But thereafter, domestic price pressures will still be visible. We expect services inflation, for example, to remain elevated for most of this year. So there will be a period ahead where we need to confirm on an ongoing basis that the incoming data supports our inflation outlook. So this has two important implications for the policy path ahead. Two important implications. First, our decisions will have to remain data dependent and decided meeting by meeting, responding to new information as it comes in. This implies that even after the first rate cut, we cannot pre-commit to a particular rate path, however tempting that is, however much some of you would like to see it. If we are honest to our methodology and if we have discipline in adhering to these principles, we cannot. That was the first important implication. The second important implication is that our policy framework will remain important to process the incoming data and calibrate the appropriate policy stance: inflation outlook, dynamics of underlying inflation, transmission of monetary policy. But at the same time, the relative weights assigned to the three criteria will have to be regularly examined. So, in conclusion, I said after our last Governing Council meeting that when it comes to the data that is relevant for our policy decisions, we will know a bit more in April and a lot more in June. I hope that my remarks today and the developments that I've taken you through will help understand our analysis, our logic, and our method. So in the coming months, we will receive more data, which will help us assess whether we are sufficiently confident in the path ahead to move to the next phase of our policy cycle.